To my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by today. So many other channels you could be watching, but you're watching me, and I'm truly grateful for that, and I'll never take it for granted. You know, we're always complaining about Big Shirley this, Big Shirley that. The cards are stacked against us. They're trying to keep men in their place. In other words, the problem. But we never talk about a solution. So that's what I want to talk about today. Just a basic solution to the problem as we see it. A lot of us need to develop a program. And what's a program? A program is just a set of step-by-step instructions. That's all it is. Because a lot of us, man, we're disgruntled. We're way out there. We need to be brought back to center, step by step. We don't see a way out of our situation. But like I told you on my live stream yesterday, when a guy says, hey, how did you get 24 years sobriety? One day at a time. Well, the solution has to be one step at a time. Because we're talking about getting our minds right to leave. It doesn't mean leaving the country. It could be leaving a bad marriage, leaving a bad job, whatever bad is, whatever your problem is, leaving that behind in the rearview mirror. This isn't a pep talk, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't a motivational speech. This is somebody who made it out. And I'm just kind of giving you some little pointers, some things that I've observed in my own situation and other guys who made it out. But it all begins here. We can't act against our thoughts. If you can't swim, you're certainly not going to jump in the deep end of the swimming pool. It starts up here first. So let's get started. Let's get this straight first. The first step, I'll call it, to solving any problem is to admitting there's a problem. Whatever it is, your problem, acknowledge the problem. And then you're going to say, well, I've got this problem and nothing that I'm doing seems to be working. So you surrender, basically. Far too many of us were in denial. Oh, I got this. We're treading water. We think the harder we work, we're not getting anywhere. The problems piling up around us so fast that you don't ever see a way out because we're in denial. You have to say to yourself now, am I in an unbearable situation? So just admit that you're in a problem. Then I'm going to say the second step in this program, the solution, is to believe that you can get out of the problem. There's one good thing about these YouTube channels like mine. You see people with your own eyes who have escaped, who have gotten out, so to speak. But you have to believe that you can get out too, that you can escape too. Because if your mind isn't conditioned right, you're not going to take any action. Over the last almost 2 years, August 20 will be 2 years, I've gotten so many messages, emails. I've spoken to hundreds of men. And they all want to get out, but 90% of them have no plan. They just think that I'm going to take my Social Security and I'm going to run. Well, it won't be too much longer after that, you'll be running back. Well, yeah, the first step is, hey, I got a problem. And I can't fix it. I don't know how to fix it. I need some help with this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to people who've already solved the problem. And you're going to look to them because you're going to condition your mind into belief, into faith. Or you're never going to take action. And I know, I'm not even said anything about money yet. because it's going to take money. If you get a divorce, you still got to have a place to stay. You still got to have money to take care of your needs, maybe child support or whatever. Or then if you talk about moving overseas, that's a whole different monster. If you're talking about switching jobs, you got to have money to bridge that gap somewhere. But we're not even going to talk about money yet, because a lot of people have money and they still come over here and flop. They still fail. So the next thing is accepting help. Like I said, most of us, men going their own way. These tough guys, they call them internet tough guys, manly men. We don't want to accept help. I got this. I can do this on my own. But you got to start accepting some help. Because obviously, if you knew the way, you'd be out already. But you don't. Your best got you right where you are now. So might as well take a few suggestions for some people. And it's going to take courage. It's going to take courage. Change is not easy. If it was, we'd all change. One thing you found out, you can't change other people. You know how hard that is, right? And it's even harder changing yourself. And people are afraid of it. We get comfortable. They call it comfort zone. Really, it's just a routine. You don't want to do anything different. You take the same way home from work. You go to work the same way. You eat the same foods over and over. You talk to the same people. You go to the same places. You do the same damn things over and over because you're afraid of change. You stay in these old fucked up marriages and relationships because you don't have the courage to strike out on your own. A lot of us really, if you're anything like me, you need to look in the mirror because you don't even love yourself. You don't even like yourself. It begins and ends right here with me. So what we're trying to do is just get our minds together. Yeah, we know about the money. It's going to take money. It's going to take a lot of money. Maybe more than you got now. But if you don't condition your mind, you're never going to take action. You got to admit you got a problem. Man, I'm in a fucked up circumstance. I'm in a fucked up situation right now. Whatever it is. And I don't know how to get out. But I see that other people have gotten out. Maybe if I ask for some help and then accept that help, then have the courage to do what they suggest that I do. Then comes the money. Start saving your money. I was talking to a guy today, Coach East, down in Orlando, Florida. This guy's sharp, man. He's got a 10-year plan. And I know that sounds like an eternity. Just like my 4-year plan sounded like an eternity. But once you get started, you're halfway there. We spend too much time trying to figure out how we're going to do something instead of taking action. One step at a time. You've heard that old cliche, 1,000-mile journey begins with one step. They're talking about the problem. They're talking about solving your problem. They're not talking about walking 1,000 miles. But he's got a 10-year plan. So he says he's got a $30 rule. This may be extreme to some of y'all, but at least it's a start. It's a plan. He's got a program. He said, Calvin, I don't buy anything that costs over $30. And I was messing with him. I said, well, hell, I know you don't have any Jordans. He said, I never owned Jordans. He said, I started this about 3 years ago when I got serious about getting out of my circumstances, about changing my life around. Because it wasn't just going to happen, which a lot of us, we sit around, we wait like it's going to happen, but it's not. So he said, my gym membership is $24.99 at Planet F. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And he says instead of going out with his friends, spending $100 at the club, which is easy to do over in America, he says, I'll take $25 and I'll go to the movies by itself. He's abstained from relationships. He said, there's no sense in me getting in relationships if they're not going to work, if I plan on leaving anyhow. Now, that's his plan. It wouldn't be part of mine because I'm going to do something before I leave. But he's got a solid plan and he's focused. He's been doing it for 3 years. So you know he's focused. But just getting the plan together is what we're trying to do today. We're talking about a solution. We know what Big Shirleyism is. We know that the cards are stacked against us over there. We know that they're on the hunt for our manhood. They're cutting off nuts left and right over there. But there's no sense in talking about the problem all the time if we're not going to talk about a solution. What can we do to escape that slaughterhouse, really is what it's become in certain eras? For me, I was escaping my hell. For some people, you don't have to leave your country because your country is heaven for you. You may have to escape something else. Whatever it is, admit that there's a problem. You have to admit you got a problem first. Quit being in denial. Fronting. That's what Cochise called it. That's what we call it. We do a lot of fronting over there in America, like everything's okay. Meanwhile, we crying when we get home. The minute we shut the door, we crying, we miserable, isolating ourselves from the world. But the minute we step out that door, it's Facebook again. Because that's all you see on Facebook. And that's what I told him. I don't want my channel to be a version of Facebook. I want you to see the good, the bad, and everything in between. But I want to give you some hope. I want to let you know that if you're in a bad situation, you can get out of it. You can turn it right side up. You can do a 180. But it's not going to be easy, man. If it was easy, everybody would do it. It's hard to change because that's really all we're talking about. It's changing. You have to take some responsibility. It's not always everybody else's fault. Let's keep the focus on ourselves. This isn't no pep talk, man. I can't motivate grown people. You set in your ways. But I can give you some suggestions. I can tell you what I've done and what other people have done to turn their lives around, because that's all we're doing. Happiness is a never-ending journey, man. You get happy, happier. You just keep going. It's levels to it. So no matter where you are right today when you're watching this video, we got to start talking about the solution. We can't stay stuck in the problem. You become what you think about. I tell Marilyn all the time, she's got anxiety. Oh, my anxiety this, my anxiety that. I said, look, stop talking about your anxiety. Start talking about getting better. Condition your mind, and your body's going to follow. It starts up here first, in first, and then out. Everything you seeing behind me, around you, outside, it began in the mind of somebody. The chair you're sitting in, the phone you're watching, the computer you're on right now, it started here first. That's where your solution is. It's not out there. So let's start focusing on the solution. Save your money, man. Make some sacrifices. You can't get something for nothing. Nature frowns on the desire to get something for nothing. And that's what we're trying to do. Guys calling me up, can I get by on $800? You probably can if you got an ironclad plan, an ironclad program, something that you're going to follow on a day-to-day basis. I didn't come over here just to create the same life that I left. I got to make some changes. I got to make some sacrifices. And it starts with me. So if you're sitting out there now, you're miserable, you're unhappy, you're in an unbearable situation, you got to admit that there's a problem. And then you have to believe that you can get out. You can turn it right side up. You saw other people doing it. Belief and faith creates action. Then you got to have the courage to take the action. There's no sense. I was reading Ogmandino, another one of my favorite guys. He said, the greatest map in the world won't move you 1 inch. It won't take you 1 inch, guys. We have to take the action. You got to have the courage to take the action. And one of the actions is a savings plan. Start saving your money. Stop buying all that foolishness. Most of it depreciating around your neck. You driving around in a car that's depreciated. The clothes you got on it, fancy clothes, every day you put them on, they're depreciated. Those fancy shoes. Look at other people who succeeded, who are already where you want to go. And then take some action, guys. This isn't a pep talk. I'm not trying to motivate you. I'm trying to help you. This is a community. This is a support group. All of you miserable guys over there. But if you're not going to accept no help, then guess what? You're going to be miserable. But I'm not going to be around you because misery loves company. You're not going to bring me down. I'm trying to bring you up where I am. And I've been able to do that. Just like somebody pulled me up. And now it's like this. I'm pulling somebody, then you pull somebody. And pretty soon, we're all up, man. We're all over here. Because guys, when they come over and meet me, they say, this guy's real. He's really found a way out. And they get more encouraged. They get more enthusiastic because they say, it's not a scam. He's not selling us a can of beans. He really has found a solution. So thank you so much for stopping by, man. I just wanted to put this out there. No one ever talks about a solution. We're always talking about the problem. Big Shirley this, Big Shirley that. The cards are stacked against us this. Child support. The Me Too movement. Women are taking over. They're cutting off our balls. You can't stand the problem, guys. At some point, you got to move over to the solution. So if you're in America, it's already late. If you're in the bed, I hope you found time to help somebody today. But if you're on one of them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, you're just getting off second shift, or you're on your lunch break, you see somebody on the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a few dollars. In the Philippines, it's about 9 o'clock. I'm on this intermediate fasting. See, I've got to make some sacrifices. I hurt my shoulder, my wrist, my knees. I'm just now trying to get back in shape. But I can't just sit here and watch workout videos on YouTube and think that I'm going to get in shape. I got to get out there and work out too. The same with you guys who's trying to escape intolerable situations over there. You can't just watch me. Not a day goes by that we don't help somebody over here. Now, tonight is our 1,000 Peso Pandemic giveaway drawing. We've been doing every single Friday since Sunshine Shoulders started, helping struggling Filipinos during the pandemic, during the lockdowns. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free. I'll see you next time.